Next, I have the pleasure of introducing Tony Evers. Tony is currently the State Superintendent of Public Instruction. He was elected to that office 3 times, and most recently in 2017. He was born in Plymouth, Wisconsin, and is married to his high school sweetheart, Kathy. He has worked as a teacher and a principal in Tomah, as a superintendent in Oakfield and Verona, and a CISA administrator in Oshkosh. He's also was the deputy superintendent at DPI. As a teacher, a principal, an administrator, a superintendent, parent, grandparent, Tony Evers is well known as a champion for education. On September 6, 2018, exactly 1 month ago today, Tony Evers was elected as the 46th governor of the state of Wisconsin. We are very pleased to have Tony Evers join us this morning. Yes.
Good morning, Governor-elect. Thank you very much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Good morning, everybody. I was really hopeful to have a piece of that cake, but I didn't realize it wasn't a real one. And they took it off the stage. Anyway, thanks so much for being here today. And I just, first of all, want to recognize Kathy Sievert and Bob DeCook for I know they were leaders right from the beginning in creating New North, and it's been an outstanding organization, and it's just an honor for me to be here. I spent, my wife and I and our children actually spent 10 years of almost 10 years of our lives living in Oshkosh, and actually I've had a chance to be part of, on the periphery of New North when I was at CISA 6, and it's always good to be back in the Fox Valley, so thanks so much for inviting me. And to Mark Murphy, congratulations on 100 years, not only of 100 years of great football, but 100 years of having the Green Bay Packers be a real economic driver for the New North region and frankly all across the state of Wisconsin. Also like to thank Bill Bone and Vicki Updike and Executive Director Jerry Murphy for their great work in leading this organization and making it a real powerhouse across the state of Wisconsin. Now, I have to say, one of the things that really makes a real impression on me is I like to think about accomplishing things by connecting the dots. And in order to solve problems, we do have to connect the dots. And New North has really taken that on right from the beginning, involving not only the business community, but also the education community and the labor unions and community groups and elected officials to bring them together in a nonpartisan way, frankly, and to solve problems. And that's something that's always been extraordinarily important to me, watching this organization grow over the years. Bringing 18 counties together is no small feat, considering all the counties have their distinct identity and very important distinct needs. But in order for our state to thrive, we need regional opportunities like this to make sure that all people get the same opportunities to achieve and thrive and be productive. And so I salute New North for that, and I'd like to if we could just give a round of applause for your leaders, I think that'd be a great. And I also want to, just from my day job as state superintendent, thank you for your great support of the K-12 system and offering advice and helping to build career pathways for the young people in this part of the state that have multiple on-ramps and off ramps. Too many times young people get locked into a future that suddenly they say, well, I'd like to go in a little different direction. So in order for us to make sure that our young people have those opportunities, we have to make sure that we point out these are the pathways, this is how you can get on, this is how you can get off and enter another pathway. And I think that's about the only, especially in this time of really low unemployment, and also, continuing dropping in the number of people that we actually live in this state, it's important to have that flexibility and to have young people understand that. I would also encourage you, and I know Fox Valley area and the New North area is keenly aware of this. The idea of having dual enrollment opportunities for students, not only does it help amplify that notion that we have on-ramps and off-ramps, but it also, frankly, shortens time to graduation, saves money, and gets young people into the workforce as quickly as possible. And so I've always believed that in order to really have a successful state, we have to have as many young people as possible have workplace experiences. Personally, I came from a era where that didn't happen, and for business owners and people in the business community to open up their doors to people, whether it's in the college arena or the high school arena or even middle school, that is so important for them to understand what opportunities are out there. And I think it really helps people compete for workers and have good workers going forward. And a good example of that is the Talent Upload project that the Fox Cities Chamber of Commerce has been working on. It's a great example of bringing area students into businesses and to make those connections and to connect the dots. And so I applaud that great work. So one of the things that I heard on the campaign trail a lot is the whole issue of the critical needs around our roads. And I know we spent a lot of time during the campaign, and I saw the airplanes flying around the either Lambeau Field or Camp Randall Field, calling potholes Scott holes and all that. And I understand that's all part of the election stuff. But the truth of the matter is that we have to find a long-term solution to our transportation problem, and we're going to need your help to do this. This is not risk-free work that we're going to be working on. We have to have a solid transportation system, and it's not just obviously for our recreation industries, but it's also to make sure that we are able to move people safely all across the state of Wisconsin and help businesses move product from point A to point B. We've struggled in this area, and it's important for us to address it. If you look at least in my observation, you look at any surveys that survey businesses, one of the most important things that they need is access to good highway systems, good train systems, and so on. And that doesn't happen on the cheap. We really have to work together on that. So it's a key to unlocking economic development in our state. And I hope you'll join me on this. I believe there is Republican. I think this is a nonpartisan issue. There's Republican support for it. There's Democrat support for it. We just need to have the intestinal fortitude to move forward. So as I've traveled across the state during the campaign, I had lots of people make it quite simple. Fix the damn roads. And I couldn't agree more. So we have to have a sustainable, long-range plan. It's not that we just flip on the switch. There's all sorts of engineering that has to be done ahead of time, all sorts of people to bring to the table. But I want you to be involved in this. This is a critical issue for the state of Wisconsin. And I am willing to work with you to make that happen. We have to have a better transportation system. We can't continue borrowing going forward. That means we either have to cut places or find revenue sources. So that's the bottom line for me, and I hope you'll be with me on this effort moving forward. The other thing I want to talk about just briefly is economic development. Clearly, the state of Wisconsin is moving forward in a good way with economic development. And I thank you, and I pledge my support to your organization to make sure that we work with you, we hear from you. The state has to be a leader in this, but I can tell you that it's my observation that the strength of economic development in the state of Wisconsin always has been, and frankly, always will be, a regional and local effort. And I'm willing to work with you. We must have a 72-county plan. We must make sure that that we're not pitting one part of the state against the other, but really, in my opinion, yes, Southeast Wisconsin needs economic development and people thriving, but so does Price County, so does Iron County, so does the New North area. We need to make sure that it's a 72-county plan, and we have to avoid pitting people together. So, and your collaborative efforts really will help us get to that point. So I'll be announcing an Economic Development Advisory Council this week, and I hope that New North will play a significant role in helping us look at ways to make sure that economic development across the state of Wisconsin is thriving and continues to thrive, but we need to take it to the next level. Now, in the election, one thing I did find out is the citizens of Wisconsin are pretty tired of political rancor and the political infighting that goes on. And I couldn't agree with them more. That's part of my DNA. And I would tell you that I ran for governor because I'm not, first of all, I'm not going to run for president, in case anybody was wondering that. But what I want to do is help solve the problems of the state of Wisconsin. And I hope to find ways to make that happen in a really substantive, politically appropriate, bipartisan, nonpartisan way. And I know that might be dreaming, and I understand that. But I believe that in order for us to solve the problems of the state of Wisconsin, we have to roll up our sleeves and take care of business. And that's very similar to what I just talked about with the transportation area. But I also want to talk just briefly, and I don't want to get all political with you on this, but I know Mark Hogan is going to be here later. I think he's actually coming almost right after me. And I think you probably have seen over the last couple of days the legislature is working on several issues that, frankly, I've found distressing. But one of the things that concerns me most is just yesterday they passed legislation that would remove the governor's office from participating in the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. Now, I believe, and I think I saw a letter that eight former Department of Commerce folks and also previous leaders of WEDC urging caution around this issue. And the legislature did not take that advice to heart. And so as a result, the economic development, I believe, works best when it's organized so that the governor can marshal his or her, and this isn't about me, frankly, this is about making sure that the governor's office is in a position to marshal the resources of state government around the issue of economic development. And if the governor is sort of precluded from being part and parcel of that effort, I think that's a mistake. And I'm very hopeful that you can think through this with me, hopefully use your influence to possibly get a change in that piece of legislation going forward. It may mean a need to have a conversation with Governor Walker as he looks to sign that bill, but I think the idea that the governor of the state of Wisconsin be held at arm's length from economic development is a mistake. And I hope you will agree with me, and I hope the leaders in this room will help us bridge that divide that exists, that was created this week, and I would appreciate your support on that. So, as I said before, I'm all about making sure that we solve problems and build collaborations just like you have done here in the New North area. And the citizens of Wisconsin have asked me to solve problems, and I want you to be partners with me in solving those problems too. So thank you very much for your good work, and thank you for the opportunity to share some thoughts with you this morning. Thank you.
Thank Thank you very much, Governor-elect. Appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you.